You said attention? Got everything set, Gene?
I think so.
Okay, great. Roll call, please.
Mr. Sanderson.
Here.
Mr. Benson.
Here.
Mrs. Labuda.
Here.
Ms. Vedder. Mr. Ruiz.
Here.
Mrs. Geiger. Here. Mrs. Edwards. Here. Mr. Steingart. Mr. Sorensen.
Okay, thank you. All right, we'll start with the county manager's monthly report.
I'm discussing we're working diligently on the budget and expect to have it filed by at least October 21st, as we had discussed earlier. Have preliminarily started to talk to some municipalities and school districts about some shared service opportunities, and those discussions have just started. There's potentially some promising things on the horizon, whether it's record storage or some DPW functions. So that's about it.
Okay, thank you.
I like that. That was short and sweet.
Okay,
Sure, I know that's sweet.
county attorney monthly support report. I believe you have some attachments in your agendas.
Yeah, Legislator Edwards had asked for a report on our litigation matters, and I sent one to you on September 6th. That only had that memo only had our civil rights cases. And what I've now added to it is all of the other litigation work you see in the office, and it's a lot. And one of the things I just want to point out to you, sometimes I get questions by members of the board, and we can't get right back to you. If you look at that list, you will see that there's a lot of court work that goes on. The bankruptcy cases, for example, don't require a lot of internal legal work, but it will take Tom a day to go to Poughkeepsie or Long Island or what have you for appearances. This book is our exhibit book in our last trial. We started with a couple of thousand pages of material that were assembled over 2 years of discovery and deposition. They were winnowed down to 44 exhibits we wanted to introduce in court. They all had to be marked. 5 copies of the book had to be made. We have 1 full-time and 1 part-time secretary. In the 3 weeks before that trial, the full-time secretary was totally occupied putting all of this together for trial, which means that everybody else has to pick up the slack in the office. When Cheryl handled the Mace appeal, which we won and she won in the Circuit Court of Appeals, she was almost fully occupied with that for 3 months. So what I really need for you to understand is that when something like this comes along, whatever lawyer in the office is involved in that type of case, it becomes a priority, and that availability is no longer there, and the rest of us all have to pitch in, and everybody does, but that is by way of explaining that sometimes we can't get back to you as quickly as we would like on other questions.
Well, I think what was helpful about this for me was to, this is the first time I'd actually asked for a report like that. But because of the, number of cases that we have dealing with the jail, it's just sort of like, that was, I think, probably what surprised me the most.
Well, that number is going down because of the policy that we report to you almost every year, and that is that where we believe the county is in the right, we simply will not negotiate.
Well, I
And we
agree
won't
with that
settle,
policy.
and we don't get as many new cases as a result of that as some of the adjoining counties, which have a reputation for making some of those settlements. So it was hard in the beginning, it's paying off benefits now.
But that is, the jail cases are laced throughout all of these, the human rights or
No,
Supreme
that new
Court?
cover sheet is local human rights, our
I
local
see.
Human Rights Commission. Bankruptcy is where we have to monitor because of our foreclosure proceedings. Somebody then goes and tries to file a bankruptcy. The Chapter 11 of all of the treasurer's foreclosure proceedings. Then we have all those miscellaneous things in Supreme Court. And then normal disciplinary hearings and things of that sort that take up a fair amount of time.
So what we're saying is that the jail cases are separate from this report?
Yes.
Okay.
They were on that original report to you, and as a matter of fact, we settled one other case last night, where they actually withdrew the complaint after we suggested that we were gonna go after the lawyer for sanctions for having brought the case in the first place.
Well, I don't know how long it took you to compile this report, but thank you very much.
You're welcome.
If I could ask a question on this report.
Yes, sir.
Page 3. It says closed and open. What does it mean when you're talking it's open, it's closed?
Open case is one that's still pending that we're still working on.
That I get, but the one column,
And closed cases,
closed, open.
closed,
Closed is
if
open.
we had lost the case, we would reflect it differently. Closed either means it was dismissed. In a bankruptcy, they don't refer to it as dismissed, they refer to it as a closed
This one
case.
says closed, open.
Oh, that one, on the
There's two pieces
civil
to
rights
it,
case,
that's why.
Earl Hayes. The judge dismissed everything except one cause of action against one deputy sheriff. So everything else in that case has been resolved, the county is now out, the sheriff is now out. We have one cause of action against one deputy sheriff that's still pending, and that case will be tried on October 15th in Manhattan. And outside counsel, as you know, when there's a potential conflict of interest, the deputies always have separate counsel. We work closely with them. That case is going to be tried by Mr. Davidoff in Manhattan on the 15th of October.
Thank you.
Cindy?
I just wanted to ask, I know Sam and I had a discussion about the whistleblower policy, and he had said that, you know, in personnel, they, according to our resolution that was passed, 44709 of county policy, the legislature would get a report not disclosing the identity of the individuals, but the number and nature of all reports made pursuant to the resolution, and what has been done with respect to each such report. So I was just,
That's a requirement in your policy. It's a statistical report. I don't have anything to report in that regard. It either comes from the personnel officer or from any department head who was the recipient, a direct recipient of a whistleblower complaint.
because till
I'll
now,
let-
I don't
I'll
think
let
we've gotten
Carolyn
a
speak to
report.
that.
We got
I
one this
provided
month.
that information.
That was this
Where?
month you submitted it in personnel.
Yes,
Of the whistleblower number and nature?
yes.
Did you send that to me? Do you know?
I
on
sent
my-
that to
Everybody
the
got
full
it.
board.
Everybody
All right, it might be on my county thing. Thank you.
Should look at that.
I will, and I review everything, but that one I will look at. We just
She
got
asked for
that?
legal advice.
That wasn't legal
Okay.
advice.
Okay, we just got it
Sure
last
sounded like it.
Tuesday.
Did you need some?
Sarcastic
Are you-
Same thing, the committee meeting.
I'm learning from you.
All right, Sam, is that the end of your?
Yes, thank you for the
your-
time,
Thank
Mr.
you.
Thank you for the time that you put in, and it was very helpful to see that outline of all of those cases and the results of them, so thank you. Next, we have a discussion on the RFP to analyze the 2010 census data and develop a redistricting plan for Sullivan County. Linda, do you have?
I wasn't aware that it was on for discussion until I actually saw the agenda, and when I saw the agenda, it had the incorrect RFP attached to it, so I asked Annie to forward the corrected one to all of you. That RFP was sent out on September 13th, it's returnable on the 27th.
Right.
And we hope to have some responses then. I believe that the subcommittee is gonna be meeting on October
October
1st.
Who's on
October
that
1st.
committee?
Legislators are myself, Kathy Labuda, and Alan Sorensen, and then it's
myself, Rodney Gable, Ann Brzezinski from Board of Elections, Jill Wire, and Sam. I believe that's it.
yes.
And we'll be meeting to go over those responses and hopefully have a recommendation to the legislature for the General Services Committee next month.
And you had a ballpark figure from how much it cost the last time?
I believe last time we spent about $25,000 on that. This time I'm hoping it'll be less than that, given all the information that we have provided in the RFP. Hopefully we'll get something a lot less than $25,000.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions of Linda? So this will be moving along, and we're looking to have this resolved completely no later than June of next year.
I'm hoping, if the RFP calls for a report, a final report submitted to the legislature by the end of April. I'm hoping that we can adopt something by June.
Right. Okay, thank you. Okay, resolutions. We have the number 1, enact a local law 4 of 2013 entitled a local law to amend the Sullivan County Ethics Law.
Move it.
Second, Alan. Discussion? All in favor?
This is enough.
Opposed?
9-0, up 8-1, Rue is opposed.
Rue is opposed? Okay. Number 2, appoint.
Can I just ask a question?
Yes, sure.
In regards to the ethics board itself,
Mhm.
I had sent out information about state comptroller training for the ethics board, and I was wondering who, I know that in the law, the ethics board will report to the legislature. So who is gonna make sure that, the trainings are addressed and different things like that? Who's gonna take the lead? Who would be that, Sam?
To the board.
And I would think the legislature.
Okay, so just so that the board, the 5-member board,
Mhm.
and I did have a brief discussion because one of the board members and I discussed how, if there was gonna be training or.
When did you send that information out on the training?
Annie has that. Annie, I think you sent it out yesterday or the
Yeah, I
day
sent it
before.
out to the.
So
to the
yesterday,
ethics
so
board.
I haven't.
put it as an FYI to the ethics board.
Okay, so I haven't seen that, so maybe we need to take
Yeah,
a
I
look
was
at
just
that.
wondering who
and-
would be following
we'll
up
have a
from this
discussion.
body to the ethics board. Thank you.
Well,
Okay.
we have one of the ethics board members here right now. Ken, did you get my email yesterday?
Yes, I did,
Thank you.
and I downloaded some of it and bookmarked other of it as very informative in more ways than one. And I think what we need is a appointment within the legislature where there's going to be a discussion between the eventual setup of the ethics board and the legislator who is going to be the point person.
Will we designate that person? Would that be the chair?
That should be the chairman.
Well,
I thought that was the decision of the ethics board.
How could the
Well,
ethics
no, we
board?
would be
Just
there.
ask
They
them
shouldn't
to
have
be
it.
represented.
The ethics board shouldn't be able to tell
Tell
the
us
board
who we should be,
who we
but
should
they
liaise
should
with.
have a discussion as far as who their chair would be to
Right,
report.
but somebody, I
fine.
think.
Well,
should be
that's in the
on-
law, that they will
Right.
choose their
They
own
choose their
hierarchy.
own.
Okay.
one of the things,
So when
just so
they
you know, the
communicate with
ethics
them.
board is gonna write its own rules. There, and you've set them up to be independent. So to the extent that individual legislators are having conversations with the members of the Board of Ethics, I'm just gonna suggest that that really isn't appropriate.
Okay,
Because
so-
you want them to be independent.
The contact person for the legislature should be the clerk of the legislature.
That's correct.
Otherwise, it
Okay,
would
thank
look
you.
unethical.
That's correct.
Thank you. That helps.
Yeah, just a quick question. Does the ethic board, were they on the list of financial disclosure?
I don't know, remember if they were or not, but they
I
obviously
don't think
should
that's
be.
ethical of you to ask.
It should be.
They should be.
Okay.
I think we
So
did
do we
put that
need
on
to
there.
have some sort of?
What you did.
I think we did put that on there.
What was, put what on?
The Board of Ethics on the
Okay.
financial disclosure.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did.
But there should be no more communication with members of the Board of Ethics.
Okay.
You want them independent.
Did we vote on this law? Did we vote on this yet?
Yes, we
Yes.
did.
We're done with
Yes,
it.
we
8-1.
did.
Thank you. Number 2, to appoint Dart to the Office of the Aging Advisory Committee.
Move it.
Cora, second Cindy. Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
9-0.
Okay. Number 3 is to reappoint Sterling to the RSVP
it.
Advisory Committee. Second, Cora.
I don't have it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
9-0.
Number 4, amend resolution number 330-13 for an address correction.
Motion.
Jean, second. Alan, any discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you.
9-0.
Number 5, to accept the recommendations of the Sullivan County Solid Waste Recycling Fee Grievance Committee.
Motion.
Jean, second. Jonathan, any discussion?
Yes.
Cora?
I just want to, I know I came in late to the meeting prior, but can you just give me the recap? This law that was established, this is the one where everybody, or at least I've gotten a lot of complaints in my district about it not being fair. So So now what's gonna happen is that, this is only one particular, property,
The file the
This is
grievance.
the grievance.
Yes,
and it's coming outside of the grievance period?
I didn't see that one. Is it Ira? Ira, and they do the grievance
This
only.
one was actually marked a 210 on the tax bill this year, which 210 class code should be $120. So it was a grievance that came in after March 31st, but it was an obvious error on our part that it should have been 120.
Okay,
And
so the
grievance
people,
board
So it's a
agreed.
correction.
so the people who have, the constituents who've complained to me about the law being inequitable, first off, aside from any like clerical error, they went through a process of grievances, they were either accepted or denied.
Right.
If they were denied, then they just have to
They
lump
had a
it, they
second
have to pay it?
opportunity.
When is the second opportunity?
After they got their notification that it was denied, there was a letter that was sent to them telling them that they could contact to come in for a personal appearance, or we actually did things over the phone at times to accommodate them.
Okay, and when was that period over?
It was over as soon as all the people who responded to the letters had, either came in or didn't respond at all.
Right.
We don't have a set time for it, but
Okay, so,
the number of grievances has dramatically increased from when this program started.
Decrease.
Decrease, that's what, did I
No, you
say?
said increase.
I'm
She said
sorry.
increase, yeah.
Decrease, that's what I meant.
And the other one on there was a cemetery that should not have been charged.
So these are just corrections.
Everybody should be paying their fair share, come on.
I don't wanna know what their garbage was.
okay, in the sweet hereafter. So,
Dead flowers.
I'm sounding like.
I just want to make sure that the constituents who have approached me still, are they out of the loop? Is that what's going on?
This
March
year.
31st is the deadline.
For, okay.
It's every year.
Yeah, I know that. I get complaints from them every year, so.
Again, at the bottom line on this one was a change in class code by the assessor that was not picked up on the
I get
fee
that.
schedule.
I just wanted to make sure that all of their options had been explored, and now we're waiting for the law to actually take place.
Just so you know, these two corrections to the, could have been done through a correction of errors process under the real property tax law. There are certain corrections that I can do as the director, and these two issues would have fallen within the correction of errors proceeding.
The problem with the cemetery is there's no one to sign it. That's why.
Nobody walking around?
Alrighty then.
That one's gonna run and run. Thank you for clarifying that.
Any other questions or comments on this resolution?
You need somebody to sign for the cemetery, just say Beetlejuice 3 times, he'll show up.
I'd like to call the question. All in favor? Any opposed?
9-0.
Thank you. Number 6, ratify a memorandum of agreement between the County of Sullivan and the Teamsters
Motion.
Local 445. Jean, Kathy, any discussion? All in favor? Opposed?
9-0.
Thank you. Number 7, set a public hearing for proposed local law entitled Local Law to Exceed the New York State Property Tax Cap
Move it.
for 2014. Kathy, second.
Second.
Jean, any discussion?
It's a necessary evil.
It's unfortunately a necessary
Well,
evil.
just to be clear.
Yes. This is for a public hearing,
Right.
correct?
Right. And it doesn't mean that we're gonna go crazy.
Right.
When
So,
is-
all in favor?
Oh, she had a question, I'm sorry.
9-0.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, when Albany gives us state mandate money, well, stops the state mandate funding, we can live within our cap.
Right. Well,
Moving on.
that'll be the next step.
Yes.
Okay, number
Go
8,
Albany.
approve a supervising social worker position in the adult care center.
Move it.
Second,
I'll second.
Jean,
I just had a
discussion?
question for,
Go ahead.
somebody's leaving, retiring, or?
This is for a temporary per diem supervising social worker. We have not been able to fill a full-time position since March 1st, despite the efforts of personnel, et cetera. Very hard position to get filled, and we need it to meet Department of Health regulations.
And you said it's temporary?
Yes, as soon as we put in for 120 days, and as soon as either 120 days or the position is filled.
I don't know if I want to open up this can of worms, but is it because of the salary, or what's the issue that you can't fill? I mean, the unemployment rate is what?
Too much.
What's the issue?
Master's level social worker
Okay.
in Sullivan County are very difficult
Okay.
to obtain.
Well, we do make exceptions when we can't find people in the county for certain positions, so if, I'm just saying, there are exceptions to certain, you know.
I just need to be
Hate to-
clear, this is a temporary position in order to catch up, or what's?
It's
actu-
in order to meet the requirements of the state
Exactly.
health
Yeah.
department. We have to meet the requirements of the state health department.
So
Otherwise,
what is this person actually doing to meet the requirements?
Well, within the nursing home requirements, you do need to have the professional social worker oversee all the professional responsibilities, including resident rights, ensuring that the caseworkers who are working in the department are doing so appropriate within the standards of social work, assist in all kinds of admissions, grievances. It's quite a long laundry list.
This is giving me a good sense of what it is.
Yes.
I have,
Okay, any other questions? Okay.
the question that I have is, I understand social work, but I know a lot of terminology is case management. And case management is not necessarily performed by a social worker.
Correct.
Is it because of those restrictions on the state level? Because many people seem to be moving into the branch called case management.
Right. And case management, depending on your area of expertise in the type of setting, could be an RN, could be a bachelor's level in a variety of human services, sociology, psychology, et cetera. Of course, if you go for the professional level case manager, there are certifications, and one could become a certified. Very different than a professional level social worker. Although a professional level social worker or a bachelor's level social worker could function as a case manager. A case manager may not be able to function as a professional social worker based on what kind of qualifications they come in with. So in hospitals, for example, you many times in the past used to have utilization and review and social work departments, and in many facilities they've become case management departments, and depending, will be staffed by RNs or social workers under the title of. Same within nursing homes, we have, for example, nurses that have part of a function can be case management, as well as part of the function of a social worker might be case management, but that is separate from the professional social worker who's, gotten their master's degree, has become licensed, et cetera, within the area. Their level of expertise and qualifications are different.
And how much
So
of this is reimbursed?
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
This is based upon the law being a state law, and that's why we're having trouble filling it? That it has to be a social worker instead of a case manager?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, is any other questions of
We're
Deborah?
just trying to find the page where it breaks through the breakdown.
Basically. Funds are budgeted not to exceed $7,000.
Oh, that, okay, the part where it's a breakdown, if this person meets the qualifications, then they're gonna go on to full-time permanent position. Am I correct in making that assumption?
Not necessarily. It's
Okay.
really just to enable us to meet our requirements.
Oh, okay, so,
Once we get somebody full-time, that position goes away.
okay.
The position is but in the 2013 budget.
He needs to speak
Carolyn
up.
has been working hard.
Randy, could you speak up or just move up to the table so we can
The
pick it up?
position is in the 2013 budget. The personnel has been recruiting for the master's level social worker. Debbie has identified someone who can work on a per diem basis to fill the position on an interim basis. And the master's level requirement with I believe it's 2 years in a nursing facility, we're just having a hard time finding someone to meet those qualifications.
I'm getting
So-
the picture now.
So that it will be filled, as Debbie said, for up to 120 days. And if we can find someone to fill it permanently, we'll do so earlier.
Okay, that's clear. Thanks, Brenda.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor? Opposed?
9-zip.
Thank you. Okay, number 9, to amend the capital plan for the purchase of 2 solid waste containers.
Move it.
Second.
Ed,
Okay.
tell us what's going on down there.
A lot of crap.
We have,
The old ones are
number of
solid waste.
containers that we've been trying to replace. They're in our capital plan. We keep putting them off, but these are getting to the point, they're 30-plus years old, and you're putting them at a transfer station, filling them up, trying to haul them back in. with-
What's leaking out of them, anything?
Nothing, the bottom.
Nothing that can be spoken of.
We're trying to keep that from happening.
Okay.
But we have
Good.
been rebuilding containers, new skids on the bottom, trying to get them on a truck. We don't want any of these falling off the truck going down the road, so they are in need of replacement.
Okay.
Any other questions? All in favor? Opposed? Thank you. Number 10, to amend the capital plan for the purchase of 2 vehicles. No, Annie was saying.
9-zip, I said. I was a little late in saying that.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Okay, amend the capital plan for the purchase of 2 vehicles for transportation.
Motion.
Second.
Jean, second. Kathy, any discussion?
Ed. What happened to our veterans?
Starting to sound like a
We
broken record.
actually had one breakdown in Albany the other day, and right below exit 23, at a
It's
rest
not
area
gonna go
without
to
a
the-
bathroom.
It's
So
not
we-
gonna go to the auction, is it?
The
When it broke down?
Not yet, because we don't have enough vehicles to run through it, so we actually were broke down below exit 23 at a pull-off with no restrooms with a load of veterans that we had to send the bus up. Subsequent, so that was another 2 hours just to pick them up and get them back here, so.
And how many do you
And the
need?
same day, we had a van breakdown, a shopping van that we had to scramble to do stuff, so we had two vehicles broke down that day alone. And I think I have 3 over at Maplewood right now, and they're trying to get repaired.
Well, these are on state bid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're averaging 200,000 miles, 300,000 miles on vans right now.
Wow.
Okay, all in favor? Opposed?
9-zip.
Okay. We are going to go into an executive
Public
session.
comment?
I understand that, thank you, Annie. We're going to go into an executive session after this, so I'm going to go to public comment, and there will be no action taken after that. One is
It
for,
might be depending on that one.
one is for contract negotiations, the second is for a legal issue. It's-
You may want to have a follow-up resolution on that one, I don't know, after the executive session, so.
Do we have a resolution?
No, we don't.
Depending on
It's,
the public comment?
Depending on what the legislators want me to do.
Well, we don't know that.
I'm not
So,
touching that one yet.
we'll do public comment, so, and then we'll
We'll do the
we'll
right
go
thing.
into the executive session. Ira?
Can I mention briefly the effort we've been trying to accomplish the last few days as far as preparing a resolution on the tax certs and exempt cases?
Happy to have a discussion, but as
Yeah, we
we
talked about
discussed
this.
yesterday, we need to finalize that and have all the questions answered.
So my suggestion is, we've been working on Sam and I and Linda and Nancy have been working on a resolution to pursue the discussion we had last week in real property. We had a very good meeting with the town of Thompson the other day, and we're trying to put something together that would enable us to move forward effectively this year and in the future. So we've got a resolution we've been working on. We were hoping to get it finalized for this meeting. We still have 1 or 2 outstanding issues. I know there was some talk about putting it off till next month. What I'd like to do, if it's okay with you, is try to get together with Sam in the next couple of days.
And Linda.
Right, and have it ready for next week's, today's full board.
Today's full board.
Okay. Never mind.
Never mind.
Unless we can do it, I mean, I'd like, it's time sensitive.
Why don't we take a look at it and do what we need to do? If it's time sensitive, we can call a special meeting
Okay.
of the full board, so we'll try and get that done in the next week or so.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Do it
you.
the first next month.
What's your deadline?
There is no deadline.
But cases have already
But-
been scheduled for.
We just want to get engaged as quickly as
Well,
we
there is a
can.
deadline.
And I also wanted to correct myself, we have two members here today, Board of Ethics members, so.
Oh, thank you. Do we need to identify this?
That would be unethical.
That would be unethical. Okay. Public comment? Any public comment? A motion to adjourn?
I'm not done.
Oh, no. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. I thought you were leaving.
Doug, don't scream.
He don't know me, but he can get to know me.
He will.
Listen, first of all, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Douglas Bowman. I am the Senior Chief Shop Steward for the Teamsters Local 445. I'd like to thank you for ratifying our contract. We worked very hard to put this contract together considering the state of the county financially. And we believe that you guys agreed to a fair and decent offer. Although I realize that we have people who used to be in authority as Teamsters leaders who object to our contract. I know all about it, and I know that you know about it. You might not want to admit it, but I know you know about it. All right? And this person at one time was our leader. He was voted out. During the period of time that he was our leader as our business agents, he was worthless. And he is worthless now. He was given a promotion when he came back to work full-time for a county, which I still feel as though he's worthless at doing that. He do not want you to thoroughly agree to ratify this contract. But it benefits the county and it benefits us. Yes, he's going to propose it. Yes, he's going behind closed doors, doing all kind of crazy things not to have this contract put through. But the Sullivan County Teamsters employees deserve to be true and honest with the county. And here and now, I'm telling you, our vote, because that's what he's accusing, is that our vote was not correct. Our vote was correct. When he was our business agent, he used to allow people on the same day who were not actual members of Teamsters but was agency shop to fill out their membership form and pay and then still be allowed to vote. According to Teamsters ethics, in the month of March is only when that rule can be changed. We allow it. The Teamsters allow it. There's no reason for you to go into executive session and change your mind about our contract. We had, and I have.
Let me just, we are not going into executive section to discuss that contract.
Okay, all right, well, you made that correct, thank you.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that we're grateful and we thank you. And to be honest, I have negotiated for since I've been here, I have been one of the lead negotiators. Every contract in the last 23 years that the Teamsters have, I was one of the lead negotiators on. And I believe this time, the county put before us the best team to negotiate with us because they was fair and honest. And this is the first time they have ever been fair and honest. Am I right, Carolyn?
She's a county employee.
Okay. Without calling anybody else out.
Well, I'd like to thank you.
I would like to thank you as well, and I would like to thank the union because I do think it was a very fair and equitable negotiation.
Thank you.
I think it was handled on both sides very well and very fairly, and on behalf of the county, we thank you for taking our considerations into consideration.
Yes.
So thank you, and we're not changing anything.
Thank
We've
you.
already voted on that resolution.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other further comment? Okay.
Session.
Motion to go into executive, Jonathan second, Kitty. Okay, all in favor, thank you.